Right.
Hey everybody. Uh, it is March 19th. It's 14:30 and it's time for the Open Spaces with Gimbalabs. My name's Newman and I'm here with all these beautiful people, my co-host Harsha, and I see James and Lewis and Megan and Sebastian among many others. And we meet this during this time to do coordination and decision making and learning. And we've all sort of made this commitment for the next 90 minutes. So it's a 90-minute session. We do it to stay connected and to share updates. We just had a little check-in before we turned on the YouTube recording. And we explore new ideas. And we do this thing called consent-based governance. Um, and we uh, by doing this, we keep Gimbal Labs and all of the people in Gimbal Labs aligned with a purpose. The Gimbal Labs, we call it it's not a prime directive, that's science fiction. This is the
Ever.
yeah, it's our primary driver. And that is, and I love to read it, it is to provide open, replicable, and safe spaces for people everywhere to learn, to explore, and to empower one another to solve meaningful problems. And this is the part of the week that I kind of look forward to. It's where I just vamp for a while and talk about like a general thought. And my thought this week, because the trees are budding and it's springtime and it's like, oh wow, I've got a whole nother season. I made it through the winter. How do I want to spend my time? And this is one of the things that the founders of Gimbal Labs sort of gave to us as one of the things that I heard when I came to my first meetings. It's like, hey, you have a choice. You have a decision to make about how you spend your time. And one of the things I like about our driver is that it talks about these meaningful problems. And it's like, what problem do you want to align to? And how will you solve those? Another thing is that a lot of times the problems you have to learn about these problems. And then how can we provide something that is open and replicable, something that scales, something that makes an impact? And then how do we do it in a safe way? So as we go through the next season, it might be cool to keep that at front of mind. Um, and as we go into the next phase of this meeting, which is the announcements, think about these meaningful problems in any events or announcements that you would like to make and put into the recording here, and I can put into our notes. Are there any announcements that are out there in the group? Any announcements? Events or things that are going on? Aomi, did you do your spaces with you had somebody on. Is that coming up? Is that today?
No, it's actually next week, Friday. Adalin.
Which one? What's it called? Ada Lat?
I said Adalin. Adalin.
Ah, okay. All right, so the your space, and if you wouldn't mind, just drop the link in there. Is Lucas here? I know I want to shout out. I'm trying to go to the 45B as a partner of Gimbal Labs, and on Fridays they do a general like business Web3 business design meeting, and on Mondays they do a governance, which actually I listened to the video and it was really eye-opening. And I'm gonna drop their stuff into the chat here. And um, if you've got any links that you want to share, you can drop them in. Oh, I see Lewis has dropped in the Kenya blockchain uh, crypto conference. Definitely. Let's see.
Yeah, it'll be a great opportunity to speak about Andamio. 55 more
Yeah,
days to the summit, the conference, I mean.
nice, nice. Speaking of conferences, the Builder Fest is coming up. I see Seb there. Seb, are you getting ready to go?
Yeah, next week I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so if you want to find out about Gimbal Labs events, you can come to the gimballabs.com and the calendar. where you can see that generally Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 14:30 UTC, we have things going on that are open to the public and people can drop in. Harsha and I had a great guest. You may know him from the Midnight Network. Johnny Five dropped in and blew everybody's mind with how he's using the AI agents. It's really that it, was that pretty inspiring to you, Harsha, when Johnny dropped by? It was to
I
me.
mean, like if you're going to ask me publicly, what would I say other than yes?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is
Uh,
true. That is true. Yeah, I guess I wasn't really
oh,
looking for a
where's the link? I want to see it.
yeah. Yeah, what is I can drop in his repo because I really like that guy. He's part actually Lewis and not Lewis, Manuel and I met him when we were doing a midnight hackathon. And yeah, I liked his sort of vibe. And he's become kind of a I sort of associate him with Midnight. Is anybody interested in Midnight here? Like working on Midnight and whatnot?
Very interested in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea it was going to be such a big thing. I was just like, airdrop, what airdrop, schmairdrop, and I sort of discounted it. But then I'm like, oh crap, it's going to be massive. It could really be a big, big deal.
It's
Um,
competitive tech. It's really interesting. Oh, Ahmed's an ambassador. Maybe he can tell us what to look forward to.
oh, Ahmed, you want to pop in, give a little bit of an impromptu as an announcement of things coming up, maybe for midnight? Don't mean to put you on the spot. Oh yeah, he's got a background. But we can put that. I think it's like midnight.network is the link. All right. So I think that's announcements. Any final announcements as we've gone through? Anybody want to pop in and talk about announcements? I know that and oh well, and Andamio Pioneers is going on. How we could
That's
uh,
correct. Yeah, on Tuesdays. Thanks. I forgot that next week is coming.
yeah,
Tuesdays, we meet for Andamio Pioneers. I'll share the Discord link here in the chat. The event is there. But we're just taking an initial look at Andamio as it goes live and becomes a thing that people can actually start building on. We're starting to have a whole collection of example applications. We'll share more about that and show you how to build your own on Tuesday.
yeah. I'm bummed I wasn't able to go the last two times. So now I'm like, oh crap, I'm falling behind. If
I
we were
know we've
playing the
got
Oregon Trail, I would be
there's been a hello world ready for you because that was your feedback last time.
oh nice.
We've got a hello world with your name on it ready to test when you
I
say
am Mr. Hello World. In my mind, like that was the like just learning programming when I was a little kid. Like that was I just thought it was just awesome that you're like, oh yeah, you have to introduce a little thing to the world and they say hello world. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that sounds like a beautiful invitation. All right. Next, so I think that finishes up with our we do follow an agenda. I could share my screen, but the next one is the DREP report. So Gimbalabs is a DREP, although we've been inactive for a minute, but we're trying to exercise our governance muscles by going through a current and live voting proposal. And Harsha has one for us. Harsha, you ready?
Yes, let me quickly share my
And
screen.
as
And
you're as you're sharing the screen, I'll give a little thing. We'll
yeah,
I'll ask Harsha how much time he needs for discussion or for presentation, and
5 minutes
then
at most,
yeah.
and discussion is 5 minutes at
Okay,
most.
cool,
I'm quickly sharing like a beginner-friendly summary, but this is not a comprehensive summary.
cool.
Um, yeah, so today we'll be like discussing Dingo. Newman, would you like to start a 5-minute timer for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna start us up a timer, and I just have to find out where it is living now. And there we go. Okay, and here comes the timer, and 5 minutes starting. Go ahead. All right,
All
start.
right. So today's proposal is Dingo, which is an implementation of the Cardano node in the Go language. And this proposal is by Blink Labs, and they're asking for 6.9 million ADA to work on Dingo for 1 year's time. Um, and the reasons they are giving as to why this is necessary to build is node diversity. So currently we have like the original node developed by IOG. I think that is in Haskell, and transaction pipe, and I think Pragma. They're also working on a Rust implementation of the Cardano node, which is called Amaru, and this will be a third implementation of the node using Go. And the reasons they are giving is network resilience. So if one implementation has issues, we can always fall back on another, and if the other has issues, we can fall back on the third. And the second reason is the Go ecosystem accessibility. So they're saying that the Go ecosystems, that means Go developers, would be like coming in and using this implementation of the node. Um, and the delivery track record. Actually, I think there's a very legitimate reason. Blink Labs has delivered multiple things in the past, and they maintain a lot of necessary libraries and repos for Cardano, specifically in the Go side. So that is another thing. They have a really good track record. Um, and they're good, and they also mention some technical things that we will not go too much into because I also don't understand them too well. Um, but the the risks, at least from as far as I understand, is that there is no guarantee that people will adopt it. So there will exist an implementation of a node in Go, but there's no guarantee that people will adopt it and use it. And another risk is that so this current budget is not for it to be on mainnet. So it's not like the project is complete, it's done. So this is to get to mainnet. That means uh, they will test out whether like huge transactions and all can go through, like a large number of transactions and all can be implemented on this version of the node. Um, and the further budget breakdown is all over here. Um, I think that's all I have. Uh, yeah, so
Okay.
that's all I have for now. I don't think I got through the 5 minutes, but I think that's fine. People can ask any questions if you have any questions. I can
Yeah.
quickly run through this and answer them.
And you've created I should send a link to the summary that
I
you've
put
got.
the link to the summary in
Oh,
the
you got it
chat,
in there.
and but that is a very, very beginner friendly summary, so it's not like it doesn't cover everything.
Nice. Okay. Okay, cool. Any questions about this one?
Oh, one more thing is that, yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
And then how are people feeling about it? Are there, we don't necessarily, this isn't a time for consent, a
So
consent
this is
round, but
just to kind of get like a basic
yeah,
understanding of this proposal for people who are non-technical, and some may be technical. They can jump in and like look at the implementation and the milestones that they are suggesting. If you understand the milestones, fantastic.
yeah. Um, okay. I've talked a lot, so I'm waiting for somebody else to jump in.
So I'm just curious
But
about non-technical folk. When you
Andrew,
hear,
Andrew
okay,
has,
so Andrew has, oh, go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
But I was just going to say, I've just voted yes on it.
Hmm.
With
And
my,
I was just curious, Andrew, so why did you vote yes on it? Like, what was
well,
your...
I mean, I guess there's two reasons.
Uh-huh.
The second reason follows the first. What we're doing here at Gimbalabs overlaps a lot with our work on creating a Go PBL course. But
Mm-hmm.
again, the reason is the tech stack Cardano is already very niche. And I think we need to broaden our horizons and having node diversity and opening up Golang. There's to developers all around the world. It opens up Cardano's horizons to new developers who don't need to go through that process of learning the niche tech stack. So that's my reasoning.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I think that's a really great reason, actually. Okay, so that's 5 minutes. So we'll set another timer for 5 minutes to do discussion, and that'll be our time box. So we got plenty of time to discuss. Let's talk about it. Are there any
Yeah. So does
Golang?
anyone have any more reasons that we haven't discussed for or against this proposal? Like, and so I have some questions. First things first. So when I saw the 6.9 million ADA budget for 1 year of work, I didn't know what to compare it against. So what is my benchmark? So how would I know if it's like lesser than what is requested or perfect amount or more than necessary? I have no idea. Maybe I should just like look at Amaru, which is another implementation, and see if it kind of matches like a similar budget or not. Maybe that's my best guess of how I would evaluate this 6.9 million ADA. Um, yeah.
So what was Amaru?
So Amaru's budget, I can always like go back and check. Maybe live voting Amaru budget treasury withdrawal. Let's see.
Because
Um, yeah.
well, the other thing was like how much budget, because we have the net change limit of 300 million. And so if we're planning to spend 300 million, 7 million isn't a tremendous amount.
That's right. And Amaru for this proposal is asking for 10 million. Um, and I think this is the second proposal for Amaru. I might be wrong, but I think this is the second proposal for Amaru. And Amaru is like a Rust implementation of the Cardano node. Um, yeah.
And the other one that because of 7 million talking to me
So
because,
new,
and I guess it's beautiful. It's actually a good way to think about it, Harsha. It's like, what is the benchmark? And I mean, I don't know. It's like, how are infrastructure, how is infrastructure paid in other blockchains, other tech ecosystems? Like, how is that done in other places? I have no clue.
exactly. So just if you take a look at the breakdown, so this is how much they're asking. I mean, so yeah, I can't get my head around this because like I have never seen anything more than like maybe like 50,000 or like 60,000 ADA. So a million ADA is just like a number that just like goes over my head.
Right, right. Well, the other one, and I'm open. I'm happy as I'm looking at anybody's got their hand up or wants to jump in. Otherwise, we'll just
Yeah,
jump.
Nelson has his hand up.
Hey, Nelson.
Hey guys, yeah, I would like to jump in because I'm pretty excited. Um, so I think regardless of the numbers, I think today it changes things because yeah, in the whole history of Cardano, they just announced that Dingo already, minted a block on Preview Network. So that's a huge achievement, right? And they did this before Amaru, they did this before Acropolis, which IOG is building. So like of all the proposals that are put out there for an alternate Cardano node, in all of the history, this is the first one that we have actually seen making a block. So, if anyone is on the side of, yes, we want alternate, node diversity, then I think this is our best bet because it has already proved that, uh,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, that's a
it has
really,
consensus
really
with them,
strong argument. Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, not sure
One
Go
of
about the
the
ahead.
numbers there.
that's beautiful, and yeah, thanks. I saw some in the chat, but so even before Amaru, and so it's really just one. Right now, there's only one node implementation. Is that true?
One node implementation that is producing blocks, and that's the Haskell one. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Huh. What's
Andrew, go ahead.
Amaru's in Rust? Okay, okay.
Yeah, Andrew's hand is up.
Andrew, hook us up.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, sorry, maybe this is going to sound a bit more of a vent, but just sort of back up what Nelson is saying there. I've got a bit apathetic with Cardano probably in the last 6 to 12 months. I think in hindsight, the governance thing is a mistake. It's opened up to well, I don't think the ecosystem is ready for it. It's turned into just a big Twitter squabble. Infrastructure is the sort of thing that
We're extended. We're
funding,
extended. Keep going.
uh, infrastructure is where the funding should have been going, in my opinion. And what's being talked about, I mean, DeFi proposals to bleed the ecosystem of another 50 million ADA seem to be more popular on Twitter. When that Cardano isn't really ready yet, infrastructure needs to be improved, and this is a massive step towards it. It's sad when you see a lot of the Twitter squabbles you see about this Dingo proposal. It's a massive amount of work. So yeah, that's my
Oh,
opinion.
interesting. Yeah, because that's, the Twitter squabbles was definitely something that turned me off. I'm like, and going through this process, it's just like, oh, like it is an important thing, and we can sort of discuss it without the squabble. Um, it reminded me of like how we need better governance models to sort of discuss and be able to like get down into how we spend our time and how we, organize a big ecosystem. Um, yeah. So, but what I'm hearing you say is like, hey, infrastructure is super important. What are the other infrastructure projects or well, no, this is good. This is good. We can probably wrap up. What do you think, Harsha?
No, I actually, so when I've read this proposal, I was very much on the neutral side of it. But Andrew and Nelson kind of like, now I feel positive about this proposal because of the 2 points that Andrew and Nelson made. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and to use that Project Catalyst sort of structure of impact, feasibility, and value for money. I think that, even if we question the value for money, like, oh, it's just a high number, the impact and feasibility are really without question. Like they're five, we use this five rating. In my mind, they're over five. Like because of that Go, and from what I understand about Go, uh, and because of the diversity, having only one implementation of the core structure of the network, like these things need to be fixed and right away. And what Andrew is saying is it's like this is a big roadblock to further implementation on both fronts. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I can echo what Harsha says that I'm feeling much more positive about the proposal right now.
Go ahead, James.
My question for everybody is, what's the right metaphor to talk about this, right? Like I know that funding infrastructure when it comes to like federal governments is not always a popular thing. So I've been thinking like, well, is building a node like building roads? Is it like making sure that everybody has internet access? Like what is this like? But it's really hard to come up with the right metaphor because we're talking about running the thing itself, right? Without nodes, the blockchain doesn't exist. So the blockchain has a treasury to build itself, right? Like this feels like the most important piece of infrastructure. So if anybody has like a brick and mortar world comparison to what this is like,
I mean,
um,
at least like when I was thinking of it, I thought of it as like pillars. Like if you only have one pillar and there are cracks in that pillar, the whole thing crashes. But if there are multiple pillars, like, even if one cracks, the others like keep it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. It feels like we had a pretty good discussion. Any
Andrew,
other any
last,
other
last,
sort of
last
yeah.
part, Andrew, and then we'll close this discussion. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I've got my hand up again. I'm on my soapbox with this. I just want to put it in perspective. If you go back to actually looking at the Cardano, so if you go back into the platform and just look at what votes are out there at the moment and put it in comparison to Dingo are asking for 6.9 million ADA, and then there's a Cardano DeFi liquidity budget, which I've actually just voted no for 50 million. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm sick to death of DeFi. At the end of the day, where will that 50 million go? It will be bled into the hands of a few
Yes.
pre-established predatory DeFi platforms who'll take a large amount of it in fees and never invest it back in. And then you've got, on the other hand, you've got your few experienced whale traders on Cardano who can take a lot of it as well and never put it back into the ecosystem. So when you put it in perspective, it's a win-win. I mean, I've not seen the votes, but I'm pretty sure that DeFi one is getting more yes votes than the Dingo one at the moment, although I could be mistaken. But interesting to see where that goes.
Ooh, I think maybe I'll do DeFi liquidity next time.
Yeah, yeah.
That might be good. Any other final thoughts, Harsha? Anyone else? Okay. So that's the next part of our agenda. So we're going to wrap up this DeFi report or this DREP report. This is how we sort of we're trying to prime the pump of getting some interest in the wider ecosystem DREP activities. It's one of the things that we do here. We're a DREP, and so I think there's maybe 5 or 6 more of these, and then we'll see where we go. Maybe we want to keep them up because I actually I enjoy the conversations. Um, okay, what is next after that?
Yeah, here,
Um,
here. Great job, Harsha, bringing that, and thanks for the conversation. This is a great model. Um,
Absolutely.
we just have to turn it into real votes now.
Well, that's the next step. We're yeah. Oh man. With that in mind, here, let me share my screen and we can show that the big thing from last week was this uh moving over from moving over from Notion into a GitHub focused project management. And the GitHub is here. Um, Not there. Let's see where we're at. Up here. No, not there. One more. This guy. So this is sort of now, or this is becoming our dashboard. Um, you can see the these projects that are active and complete. So these are all the active projects. For instance, this building governance culture is the one that we just sort of worked on. There's a Cardano Go where we're building out a course on building with Go tools and for Cardano development. And the DREP community platform and various other things. We're actually this space is this season 6 hosting spaces. Um, One of the things that we do is create these tweets. Anyway, I'm just giving you a tour of the new way things are. Beautiful thing about this is it's open and public and more replicable than Notion, in my opinion. It doesn't require so much financial outlay and also technical sort of things. But the one that we're working on now is this one. Here it is on GitHub, and then here it is on my local. And all of that is to say, to drill us down into this agenda. We did the check-in round, we did announcements, we did the DREP report, um, and now we're in this sort of call for proposals. This is sort of one of the core features, and it's sort of a beautiful decentralized thing. How we spend our time. And what we do is create proposals, and then we get feedback and assistance on those, either in terms of like man hours or people to work with on these proposals, or treasury, some funding to make these proposals happen. So, um, so now is the time when we do a little call for proposals. Does anybody have a proposal they've been working on or anything they want to present? And I will look through that. Again, the proposals that we've had in the
Lewis has
past.
his hand up.
Oh, who is it? Hey, Lewis, what's up?
Yeah. Thank you, Ashaniwan. So in regards to the project I had on the Tracom Academy and Gimbalabs, so
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to the guys from um, Tracom, right? And last time I was giving an update. I don't know if it was in this session or it was on a different session, but anyway, so the Tracom guys have applied for a PSP license. That's a payment as a service provider license. And I'm waiting for that to happen, right? It will scroll up Newman a bit. So I think it's the third one in planning.
Ah, there it is. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So I talked to them. They're waiting for a PSP license. But I'm thinking that will not be enough because we're dealing with virtual assets, and this includes blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And the virtual assets bill or whatever, the license is still under development. So I've been wondering if, as we wait for the PSP license, should I just start like filling out this proposal in its full entirety, or do I wait for the PSP license and then I can approach these guys again? I was told to prepare a presentation for the board of directors. So I'm like, eh. Anyway, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
small update I had to share. So I'm waiting for the licenses. And then I'm thinking if I'm going to present to these guys, because my timeline for doing this was September, right? And the idea was to have like a sandbox of maybe like 3, 4 developers from their team to test out the Andamio platform and the courses and whatnot. And then maybe next year we have like a full on, like we're doing stuff full. I mean, yeah, with intention. So that's a small update I had. I've
Cool.
been I've been working on this proposal on the side as well, right? Like in small details, every day taking shape. Every time I join an Andamio session, I get more information to fill out, right? Yeah. So that's a small update I had. So it
Okay.
doesn't seem
Perfect.
like it's
Yeah, the
quiet.
pioneers, and I haven't the pioneers. You're pretty active in the Andamio pioneers because it seems like that might be where it might take shape.
Right? Yeah. And when I was joining the Andami's Pioneer program, I was using this project as my user case study. So if I'm going to give out examples, I'm thinking about examples in terms of tracker. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm feeling like, and I'm using the term when because I want to be a bit optimistic. When we sign Tracom, right?
Right,
These
right.
guys have a really crazy network, mind you, right? They're in 54 countries, sorry, almost in all the countries in Africa. So I'm thinking this is like a talent pipeline or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Uh, and finding especially sort of local, in Kenya, in Nairobi, that would be really, really cool. I think that
yeah.
that's another sort of underline in Gimbal Labs is it's like local. It's like trying to do things in the area and then also face to face type of stuff, which is really
Oh,
great.
yeah. Also, sorry to interrupt again, you man.
Sure.
Also, I
Sure.
was being asked if when we decide to have a presentation with these guys, right? Are we interested in operating under them? Are we interested in a sideline kind of thing? Or are we just doing our own thing with their support? I don't know. These are some of the questions I've been thinking about and
Yeah. Yeah,
have
that's sort
been
of a
knocking
strategic
my
thing.
head. Yeah.
And that might be something to sort of ask of the community, like the gang here, while we've got a few minutes. Um, what would with like a with a group that already does training, like how would we partner to bring sort of the Cardano stack as a learning objective, but then also, like for instance, if we're going to use Andamio to deliver these learnings, um, how would that look? How to
Yeah.
establish a partnership. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I do, yeah. Yeah, the Gimbal Labs way is decentralized and less is more. It's interesting. Uh, like what resonates with the Gimbal Labs sort of model. Um,
Hey, Newman, your time is still counting.
what's
Uh,
that?
Your time is still counting. Your timer.
Oh, my timer's still going. Okay, let's see. Where is that thing?
I
um,
stopped it. I stopped it.
but Lewis,
Okay.
Lewis, big picture, the answer is yeah, you lead it, right? These are all questions that somebody needs to answer. Don't wait. Just answer the ones you can. And then
Right.
when you have a specific question for somebody else, bring that specific question. But don't wait for somebody else to pick up this strategy.
Mm, okay, okay. So now in that case, I'm thinking of like scheduling a meeting maybe mid-June, right? Maybe the month of June, schedule a meeting, May, June, July. Yeah. So I'll be after the 10-week and program, and feel like that'll be enough time. I think I'll have all the details I need by then because I've been gathering resources. I just haven't like written anything down yet. So even these questions I'm asking here today is part of my resource gathering. So I mean, thank you, Doc. Thank you for that, James. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Couldn't find my chat here. Um, okay, yeah, and that's pretty cool. And that's actually a good sort of principle. The idea of sort of doing things, taking initiative and doing things. Lewis showed. Thank you for showing initiative in this big project that you've focused on. Um, are there any other projects that are out there that we have a proposal for, like Lewis's, or that is in the sort of incubation phase that you feel like you might want to surface today? And it can also start with like, hey, this is a tension or something that's out there, like not a full-formed proposal, but just something that is, kind of getting under your skin. Um, and the next week, just as a side note, we'll do a a review. So we'll have it's kind of a special, the end of the last Thursday of the month, we do like a big review of all the projects that are ongoing. Um, go ahead, James. James, let's see your hands up.
Well, I have a like a problem sensing statement if we have time for that.
Yeah, we still got another 40 minutes, so 30 minutes before we start our goodbye stuff. Yeah, so go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, just a problem that I'm thinking of a lot lately and seeking collaborators on is the idea of feedback. And so what I've been starting to sense is that now that people can build apps, right? Like you can build an app in a day if you know how to use AI tools, or you can create a lot of content of one kind or another. What's starting to feel like a really big deal is that sure, like we can make all those things, but maybe one of the most effective ways to express our humanity, right? Or is to like look at what the things each other have built, right? To give each other feedback on the things we're doing. And so I want to explore if there's any sorts of like little systems we can build here for giving feedback to each other and maybe having some like explicit tasks from a treasury where you earn a reward because you're participating by telling somebody else what you think about their work or doing completing a user journey and telling somebody what you think about the app that they're trying to build, that kind of thing. It could even be about a course, right? Hey, I'm building this course. Can you read it for me and tell me if you learned from it and how it could be improved, right? There's so many different things that we create, and giving feedback feels like such a special kind of currency. And I share, some of what Andrew was saying earlier. Like, I just want there to be different ways to communicate with each other on really productive terms and to build real relationships and to launch new collaborations. And in my mind, that's the that's the magic of feedback, right? I tell you what I think about your thing, but maybe it starts a broader conversation, and the next thing you know, we're building something together. Or, imagine I vibe code something, you vibe code something, we give each other feedback, and but then realize that we could combine our efforts somehow. So those are all just like broad questions, but if anybody is interested in like following up on thinking about how we talk about feedback and launch an experiment, maybe even drafting a proposal here, that's something I'll be thinking about for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Eh, I like the idea of some because what that makes, does that bring up anything for other folks? Anybody resonating with that idea? How might that be like a system to give feedback? I love the idea that feedback is a special kind of currency, like it is a value exchange, and the tooling that we work on is how to facilitate that value exchange. And certainly it could be bad, like giving feedback is tough. And and Harsha, I know that you did the UX research. Is Gideon here or Jethro? Jethro is sort of a UX guy. Feels like it's UX research kind of stuff.
I think it is more generalized feedback, no? Is it just UX feedback?
Could be anything. He's talking about like an app or even a course or
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Here's a thing
generalized
I
feedback.
made.
Yeah,
I need your
yeah,
feedback. Yeah.
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 And it is something because um I think it's very topical because you can create so much content with the AI, you know. It basically any search that you do and you've got the AI sort of assisted search, it creates a blog post directly for you. Like why, like the content is there. It's just how to how to publish it and then get that magical like currencies to exchange between people that it iterates up, and like creates something that's useful and even more value. Um, I think that what came up for me was the whole idea of the wisdom of the crowds and this whole decentralized thing, as opposed to here's my idea, and I built up this big giant thing, and this is the sort of app developer before the lean startup model was like they would build stuff and then no one wanted it, and it was like yeah I build it for myself. It turns out that I can't like my use case is too small and no one would pay for this or it's not solving the right problem or et cetera, et cetera. Um, so that feedback helps, I think, grow better things. And then actually what James said, that it also creates those relationships and provides credentials or reputation. That's another thing that we talk a lot about here in Gimbalabs and in the Cardano or the builder ecosystem is like making a space to where people can contribute and build reputation and build uh, more and more layers of trust and more layers of responsibility so that we can build something more than what we would do on our own, I feel. I think a feedback system would be pretty cool. I I may be jumping the gun. I may be a little bit early, but I'm seeing the buds on the trees and I'm seeing the shade on the ground. I'm imagining it super hot. And we have in the past few seasons taken a not necessarily a summer break, but a June, July, and August hiatus.
Yeah,
Our
build a break.
the builder
We will
break.
build our ideas after learning
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the
It's like
things.
we stop sort of one routine and put it into I like to think of it as like a focus mode. We kind of have like, no meetings kind of thing. How is everybody feeling about is that am I too early to start talking about the summer and what we might want to do during the summer? I definitely want to plant that seed. Um,
Yeah, this is a great time to talk about it, and let's get some funded projects going with the
yeah,
ADA we've got for this
yeah,
summer. That might be all we do in the next 3 months, right? Make a
yeah,
plan, come up with some things we want to do. That's the governance. Go
yeah,
off and do it for a few months.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, on the summer project, I and Asha, we were discussing um yeah, at yesterday's Aiken community code review, and we were thinking of, extending the community code review because yesterday Asha was actually explaining what UTXOs mean. And I was like, hey man, I think we've graduated from this stage. Like we need to start using this Aiken itself for building real world problems, basically solving real world problems. Um, so I had this idea us of us creating like maybe 10 validators, not like maybe having like 10 validator problems, something like a DEX validator, or just complex validators. Then we make specifications of these validators. It might be 10 like it might be 10 key logic we need to make a can check. After drafting them out, then we give Claude to, just give us these validators, write out every of the logics and make it correct, concise, and then we start reading and we open source all of these validators. So yeah, I think it will be helpful for enterprise, for the community, to just check into, hey, yeah, I think I would be needing this validator sample. Okay, yeah, Gimbalabs has an open source validator to, you can sample from. So yeah, and tested, security guaranteed, and yeah, I think Code Cow that proposed Code Cow initial proposal of community code review was to create like an auditing team from Gimbal Labs, that audits smart contracts, though I think AI right now. But yeah, so yeah, that's just the whole idea behind it.
Oh my God, I love it. And
Yeah.
you're right. That was Code Cow's initial sort of thought, um, that we would that we sort of learn the auditing. So there's a couple of things, and anybody has a couple of things I want to bring up, but I'd love to hear from others like what they think about this. Um, the other thing that I had was uh, man, did I lose it? I might have lost it. Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
talking about? What did you lose?
Well, I had a thought about the creating validators. Oh, that AI, like if you ask AI to create an Aiken validator, there's going to be it's going to cross itself up. It's going to tangle the wires and pull a big knot. Like it's just going to it doesn't have enough context. I don't know, maybe with the new MCPs or, this was last week. But you can ask it for like a logic strategy and a testing of that logic strategy. Because it's only those inputs, outputs in the transaction body that and this I'm just borrowing from what you said yesterday. I thought you said it really well. Like these are the things that you test against. And these are the things that you can create a logic, gateway system. I guess if you if you get an abstraction of just creating a logic gate, with those not parameters but those components,
Yeah.
um, then all of a sudden it becomes less about the syntax of Aiken or whatever language you're using, and more about creating this robust way to validate uh, the system, the transaction. Um, and that
Yeah,
is more of a strategy thing. Yeah.
yeah, and the way I actually visualized it again was the way we are creating the project outline. That's the course outline for this Go PBL. We could also do the same for each validators. Okay, these are the things you need to check before this validator gets passed. Yeah, if we could do it maybe for 5 validators for starts and for each week, yeah, and prompts and read and
Yeah.
test. Yeah,
And,
that's
what because I feel like that, like creating those videos of, because then it would be like this validator and this video. Like it'd just be a great resource. I think that folks, yeah, like getting into that validator, like it would be just good documentation, um, of like how it works. And talk to me about the visualization, because you were talking about like, were you saying something about visualization? Were we talking about that yesterday?
now what I'm saying is the course outline we had on Go PBL, the way it's detailed on each goal we need to achieve on each call on each module. So yeah, if we could get 5 validators being specific like that, like I think the off-chain writing would also be seamless because we know where we are going to, and maybe
Nice.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey James, I see your hands up.
Well, talking about the Go course makes me think, Emmanuel, right? Like writing a validator is one thing, but operationalizing it is a whole new level.
Ah, yeah.
And so having a project of writing validators, sure, let's do it. And let's figure out how the Go course feeds into people actually deploying services that use them so we can show the whole loop, start putting out building blocks like that.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm a systems guy. And if it's not a whole thing, it goes in my brain and then it just goes out. It's like not a seed. It's just parts. If it's just a part, it's not going to find like room in my brain. So that showing the whole and closing the loop of creating what is it? It's, creating the validator, creating the transaction, executing the transaction, et cetera, all the different things, deploying, checking, testing, and yeah, I would love to get to that like um, full. They call it end to end in the mesh documentation, um, and that would be really cool to see. Um, we deal with so many parts, and especially with the project, that is something that is unique to the person, and it's like something that they have passion about or that they sense as a problem, and they're like, oh, if I could make this validator, if I could make this transaction or use, programmable money, use some of the things, whether it's in any of the different fields of blockchain. I'm thinking of uh, DIDs or identity stuff. Um, you know, that would, I think that would be something special, meaning that would be something sticky and it would be something that really resonated with me anyway. Um, I've come up with, there's a few, um, especially early on as I got to know Cardano and the blockchain tech stack, where I was like, oh, what was that one we tried to draw it. Remember Harsha, the one about like a tutoring, like a tutoring service
Oh
where
yeah, yeah, I do
you could
remember that.
do it's kind of like it was a token that you could only spend, or it was like matching. I don't know, it was like a scholarship, like a tokenized scholarship. So you could say, oh, I'm going to take this course and I can spend Ada with certain tutors, and then it would be, validated and documented and etc. Um,
Don't you have a design for an app that you've been working on in the background from Odin last summer?
yes, yes.
What's that called?
So I've been calling it work light, and it's basically like a network presence um, tool to to sort of use to let people know what you're working on and facilitate collaboration uh, such that for instance, it solves the problem of we would do daily stand-ins, daily check-ins. Yeah, Lewis and I were there last summer, and we would do these check-ins in Discord, and they just kind of go away in the stream. Although I guess they're still there. But I was thinking of like an open web that it becomes kind of like a um, out there in the world, like a blog, like a little micro blog, but it was formatted. And so I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out a formatting of um, these posts so that it fit the lean startup blocker, the daily stand up thing, like what I accomplished, blockers, kudos. It seems like there's one other thing. Um, Yeah, and it got into like data structures and webhooks and yeah. But I think it's all about like network presence and like creating some type of owning your own data as opposed to using a service and lightweight. Um, yeah, it could be something that I focus on in the summer. Um,
I
it's
mean,
definitely
well,
yeah.
does it require any validators, right? Just as a thought experiment for the next week, think
Yeah,
about if there is any on-chain role, right?
right.
Or propose questions like about what you understand about it so far. That's something that Emmanuel could look at and say, wait a minute, this is an opportunity to apply
Yeah.
this pattern.
Yep. Yeah. Here's the because it's funny, the origin story of the thing, which is great because it's like the AI loved it. I told the AI this story and it just like brings it up every time. I was um I was in California, my mom was in North Carolina, and and it was like the winter time, and we were both getting like seasonal affective. I'm telling a personal story. This is all his personal story. And I was like, oh, let's do qigong together because this is a thing that we do, and it really helps her mellow out and be good. And I would send her a text and say, hey, I'm going to do qigong in 10 minutes, and then she'd say, okay, great, and then we would do it together, and it was so cool. But it required all this like extra coordination. And I would love to just be able to say, punch the button and say, hey, I'm doing Qigong. And then she could see that I was doing it. And then without interrupting me, like join in. And then we could have like a record of like the Qigong that we were doing. So it's kind of like a Qigong class, but it's something that just happens in like an organic network that would happen. And it's and so I think that sort of um, like bringing people together with just a simple protocol. Like it's not asking you to do anything. You don't have to sign into an app or anything. You just say, I'm doing Qigong. I'm going to start now and I'm going to end then. And then your network gets notified and people can join or not. And then, you get telemetry or get data from it. Um, and I feel like that helps a network sort of um, show like what the network is and build those little connections with people because it just feels nice. I always used to think about, oh, she's in North Carolina, so she's going to be in the east to southeast direction. I was like, okay, like if I flew that way 3,000 miles, I would see my mom, and like I just had this sort of, this big, I don't know, projection of it. Um, and and it's interesting. It's not. it's got me down some interesting rabbit holes, but yeah, I still think creating software is a whole other thing, you know. But the on-chain thing could be, yeah, I definitely think there could be some on-chain, especially with that like proof of attendance. This is like, oh, you get a bit of datum on your token that says you attended. You know, it's like the credentialing. Uh, and then that game thing about like achievements is like, oh, you did 10, you know, you did 10 in a row. You did you know, you did a session with more than three people or you know, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And I would like to work on it in the summer. I would like that would be kind of a neat thing. Nori always brings it up. He's like, oh, tell me more about this thing. Uh, um, but you know, if the summertime is a fun time, I feel like burnout is a real thing. There is a pitfall of trying to do too much. Um, I want to have like at least a break in the routine. So stuff with a meeting or changing the meeting, I don't know. I don't know. Um, like just a different schedule is important, I think.
I
And
mean, I like
yeah,
technically like in the summer we like at least for a month or two or something like that we took a break from these meetings just to build, right?
yeah,
We just like decide all the proposals that we activate and then just go do that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Emmanuel's last summer project was the freaking block print and the hackathon. Like what Emmanuel did last summer is like it goes down as like an epic win for everybody. Uh, so it's no pressure on having to redo that, Emmanuel. You don't have to like
Yeah.
top yourself.
Yeah, no, the thing is right now, one of the considerations to get like to jump on that project is our market condition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like realistically, I myself, if another person would come up to propose something like that, I might not be fully convenient because except if we would want to implement it manageably, and that might even cost us some of our personal funds while like ongoing in so yeah, these are the considerations, and I had the discussion about it with Jethro, and I think if the next cohorts would be happening, maybe it will be around August, September, and yeah, Jethro will be the proposer and the block print crew. Yeah, I would just be like excluded a bit, but Jethro would be like the project manager, and Ahmed Gideon. These guys are ready to teach others how to write Aiken, and we have all of the resources already. And yeah, on going forward with the Aiken code review, I think would also help these guys in teaching other students. Yeah,
Oh man, that'd be great.
yeah. Thanks for calling up that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, the hackathon was super great. Like that could be, you know, like if it seems like you did a lot. Um, you know, one of the things that I really think, and it's well, here's my, you know, and this sort of fits in with the other stuff, and it's actually a call. This is like, you know, advice seeking, because one of the problems that I sense, like I mean, one of the funny things that I would do, I was just like, yeah, Aomi is here. Like this is before she got like her big break and went on a world tour hosting podcasts and being a model. Like that's this Aomi. Like if we come back in time and we're like, yeah, yeah, she was just hanging out here. The Aomi Suga was here. And and so it's like what incredible thing would people do, if they, I don't, yeah, like just had, I the support to go and fulfill a dream or do something really, really awesome. Um, and one of the things that pains me is that we've left behind as a group, as a not just Gimbal Labs, but it seems like the open web. And I would assume that we'd all have profiles, we'd all have portfolios, uh, we would have like open web knowledge thought leader articles and a history of like our thought processes. And all that means is like creating blogs, like open web, RSS based blogs of any kind of format, whether it's in WordPress, but not to draw too, but not Substack or not uh, uh, a bunch of Twitter like long Twitter posts, like an open web with a DNS of somebody's name or business name with a web host with files, Markdown and HTML and JavaScript and CSS, um, somewhere out there, um, such that they can they can build their own reputation in something that's closer to the metal and going with the grain of the web. Um, and it's super easy. I discovered 11T, which is a web framework, and it's so easy to do. Like when I first ran across it in 2000 and I don't know 18, 15, um, it was too much tech. It was too much command line, too much IDE, and I couldn't quite grasp it. But now I really would love to show folks. I think maybe Gideon, somebody was like, "Hey, I want to create a portfolio, and I want to make that a part of a thing. I would love to at the end of the summer have created 5 or 10 Gimbal Labs member portfolios and blogging software that they've got an actual page on the internet, not a link tree, not in some other network, but something that they own and they know about getting a domain name, and they know about a standard web host so that they can move things around. I think that would be a better way to do it. Um, and it's just an important skill, that open web technology. Same with email lists. Email is an open web technology, with the SMTP or the POP server and an address, and it's something that it could be leveraged. I'm sort of like taking it back old school. Um, yeah.
Hey, so I just feel like we are randomly talking about completely random things, you know.
Ah,
Uh, I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. I just think, if we are done with like real things early, we should close it so that people can like go do things. That's what I
yeah, yeah,
think.
yeah.
We don't have to go the whole 1.5 hours.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm hoping that folks will just sort of get into that idea of like, hey, ideas are welcome, and this is the time when ideation can happen. Like, and we've got the time to write proposals because we do want to finish it up. And here we are at the 10-minute thing, so we'll start doing some housekeeping. We're getting towards the end of our like how many sessions? We don't have many sessions. We are thinking of at the April, sort of winding things
So
down.
once the proposal is done, like the sustain and maintain Gimbal Labs proposal is done, which will last another 2 weeks at most, I think like by then it'll be a good time to like get ready for summer, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we're rolling into the end. We're starting the sort of goodbye time. This is another agenda item where any final thoughts, things that you want to chat about, and then we'll close out the session. We'll be back next week with stuff. Like I mentioned, it'll be more of a project review time where we'll look at the things that we've done and reflect on all the open projects that are going on. Um, any other final thoughts? Any things that you came for and maybe didn't get? We've got a little bit of time if you want to bring up stuff. Yeah, Aomi, see your hand.
Yeah. Hi everyone once again. Yeah. I have a question to ask. And the question is at Gimbalab, can we build um or can you work on a project or can we build something that that would involve Gimbalabs dev developers and also at the same time um publicize Cardano? Can we do something like that?
I I didn't quite
So,
understand.
Do you mean like marketing or
Okay, what I'm trying to say is this. Um I'm looking for Albert to put the question.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, I'm thinking of something. So I wanted to ask a question. Like, I just wanted clarity before I start working on what I have in my head. So that is why I'm asking this question. Yeah, so the question is at Gimbal Labs, we have devs. The question is, can the devs work on a project that would also at the same time market Cardano?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
by
Yeah.
the end of
So
the day, there is
yeah.
no one stopping anyone from working on anything. You can put a proposal forward and start working on it if the proposal is approved. And you only need to put a proposal if you want help from the Gimbal Labs community or if you need money from the Gimbal Labs treasury. Otherwise, you don't even need permission. You can just do whatever you feel is right. That's where I stand. Does anyone have any other opinions on that?
Yeah, I think that says it pretty well. It's and really you don't if we kind of are a it's like a networking thing, and then it gives you a format and an opportunity to like put your proposal into a group and give feedback, like James's original idea about, hey, like we give feedback. That's a special currency, a special exchange, because we know you and you know us, built up over months and months of coming to meetings and participating. Like it's better feedback. So the reason why to create a proposal is to get feedback in a way. But like Harsha says, you don't need to do that. And if you're only really when you're asking for uh, Gimbal Labs members to work on that, I guess as Gimbal Labs, but then also a treasury like getting funds for it. But as like my own personal opinion, I think that us, I think that marketing would be kind of a fun way to use some of our time and energy for. Yeah. Yeah, James, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, I think that is a perfect way of saying it, Harsha. And I just want to call out like having a conversation like this once in a while is actually really valuable. We haven't had the chance just to sit back and talk about possible ideas in a while. And we're also at this transition point between tools from Notion to GitHub. And it's important to remember what we're losing with Notion is a structure that helped facilitate conversations, right? When Newman would throw up the Notion list of projects on the screen, it becomes really easy for us all to get a high level view of what's been going on, maybe to add a new one, to throw a new placeholder idea in that we maybe start to pick up with each other. And what I want to make sure to do is that we do something similar now that we're moving over to keeping markdown files. And we know we have this ability to pass those files to an agent. So inside the Andamio team, we've started practicing now by having kind of these open conversations. Some of you have already participated in the Discord when we do this in public. But we have this chance just to record notes So we could have a conversation just like this one, but have a scribe taking notes next week with the goal of surfacing a handful of proposals that will guide through the process. And that's really important to me is yes, we want to cultivate a space where people bring those proposals, but we need to make sure that we're actively creating, like cultivating the space to make that happen. Like it takes active work to make sure that we build a structure very quickly so that we can turn ideas into those actionable things. I'm excited. That's for me what I'm most excited about, taking what we've learned from the structure and turning it into something that we can continue to do that gives us a way to collect these ideas and turn it into something. So
Yeah.
more to come on that.
And not losing the structure that we created with the Notion. And that's definitely like we don't know what we've it's we don't know what we've lost until we're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, having that big board and being able to just punch a plus button and quickly do it. Yeah, I was a little bit like, oh man, this is going to be a little more button pressing to get it into GitHub, but there's different ways. For instance, an AI agent or some type of front end interface. Content management system. Like there's ways to go about it. Um,
Yeah. Hey, Newman. Yeah, I think vibe coding, the word vibe coding is something to be boastful of right now. So I'm actually vibe coding a Notion clone for maybe
oh,
Gimbalabs. Yeah. So
Exactly.
if there's anyone that would be interested in collaborating, just yeah. So just to say, but though I've been working on it for the past 2 weeks, I had to drop it. But yeah,
Does
regardless,
it integrate with Andamio APIs? Because it should.
sure, we could make that happen. Yeah.
It's 17 hours.
There you
yeah,
go.
there you go. There you go. All right,
It's
y'all.
overtime.
All right, guys.
Harsha was like, we're getting out early. We're getting out early. And then, oh man, discussion happened. So, hey, thanks for everybody for being here. I'm so glad that you came. Please come and see us again. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, come down and join us in the Discord. Thanks and goodbye.
See you next week. Bye, y'all.
All right.